somewhere in the world that is here. So we're going to get kick started into today's lesson. We're going to go through. Oh, hang on, let me close that down. Let's close that down. Okay. All right. So how is everyone feeling? How's everyone feeling today? How is everyone going? Auntie Judy's today. Bex is on Auntie Judy's. So good. Awesome. How's everyone feeling this morning? Are we feeling good? How are we feeling? What has been showing up for you in the last 24 hours since our last call together? How has it all been going? I would love to know. Processing emotions. Awesome. I'm just going to keep playing on this. 2 seconds. All right. We're on. Forget that I need to press play. All right. How are you all feeling? Bex says, processing a lot of emotions, honestly. Beautiful. Good. I love that. Amazing. Sorry, that was Sarah, not Bex. Jeez, how did I get that one wrong? New beliefs. Yes, Bree. So good. I seen that post. That was amazing. So good. Angela actually did a post like that as well too, which is super, super cool. So good. I love it. Love it. All right. Well, today we are going to be diving into a bit more of the practical money work. Okay. So I think it was really important for everyone to know your own feelings and emotions, because it is your feelings and emotions, as we know now, it's your feelings and emotions that are actually the thing that gets in the way. Like, it is your humanity that gets in the way, but our humanity is what allows us to experience life, because we're human beings. We're all energy. We operate on feelings and emotions. We get excited when something exciting happens. We laugh when we have good conversations. We cry when we feel hurt and we're upset. And that's just how we are. We're human beings. So we're living in current reality where that's how we experience life, is through sadness, is through joy, is through laughing, is through crying, is through everything. That's how we experience reality. This is our humanity. So our humanity is not something that we can push down. We don't suppress emotions and push them away to the side. We have to feel emotions, because this is what we are experiencing in this reality. Okay. But then there is the energetics and the energy that is not within this reality. Okay. So it is when we visualize with our manifestation and our visualization, okay, that is outside of what we can see. Okay. It is outside of what we can see. Right. Because when it comes to emotions, you can't, and feel like, when it comes to feelings and emotions, you can't see emotions. Like, you can see someone else crying, you can see someone crying, but you can't see it physically. Like, you can't hold it, you can't see it. It's not something that you can just see in front of you. You can't just see you can see tears on someone, but you can't visualize something. Like, you can't because it's a feeling that we encounter. That's when we kind of see it in front of us, right? So when it comes to like the energetics, it's so much bigger than what we are now, than what we're experiencing right now. Okay. So, but it's the feelings and the emotions that get in the way of everything, literally everything. Yeah. So if you can really, like I said at the start, like if you can go back and watch the videos, I think watching them a few times might make different things land for you at different points. There's gonna be a few other things that might pop up for you. You might have a few more shifts. But I think it's really important to just understand your own emotions so you can process everything, and you can try and differentiate between, I'm having a bad day and I feel upset today, and that's okay that I feel upset because I'm upset because of X, Y, and Z, but also not making it mean that you're not an energetic match for success. It's not making those emotions mean that you can't be successful, that you can't make money, that you can't get clients, right? Because if you're having a bad day and you're crying or you're upset or something's happened, someone's rocked you, maybe you've lost someone, maybe you're having an argument with family or whatever that is, you're going to experience that encounter with your emotions or with your humanity. You'll experience that circumstance with your humanity. But that doesn't mean that you're not an energetic match for wealth. It doesn't mean that you're not an energetic match for money. But because you're tied up in that emotion, it's very easy to fall into, I feel sad, I can't make money. I have stress, I can't make money. I am having a fight with my partner, I can't receive clients. Client just left me, I failed the whole month. I'm not going to make any money this month. A client doesn't want to continue, I'm not good enough. Right? So when you experience a circumstance, whether it's circumstantial stress, personal stress, business stress, 3 different types of stress, okay? 3 different types of stresses. You're going to feel that with your emotion. But you can't make it mean something about what you want in your life. It doesn't mean because you're experiencing something in your life that is associated with sadness, that's associated with pain, that's associated with a bad day where you're angry and you're frustrated, or like you're just having a crappy day. Like we have crappy days. You don't make it mean something about your energetic projection, right? Because that's when you get in the way of your energy. That's when you block yourself off through money. You're like blocking yourself off. I had this conversation with a private client yesterday, and we've come so far. And I have multiple of these conversations with all of the clients at every level inside of the masterminds. But this client in particular has really come a really, really long way. A very long way. And it's like we've just dismantled, and it's really, really hard work. But yesterday this client wanted to and I want to put this into perspective in terms of like how you're going to see this happen in your business, because it's important that you need to understand how it happens in your business for you to change things. Yeah. And even I go through this now, and things happen, and I've got to shift, I've got to change mindset, I've got to change my way of thinking so that I can attract the money. Like, I don't want to put blocks on me making money. I don't want to make a situation mean something, because if I make a situation mean something, then I'm putting a block on my ability to be able to make money, receive money, call in money, circulate money. Yeah. So this client in particular wasn't happy with a certain mentorship that they were running. They weren't happy. And that's okay. That happens. You go through changes, you change, eventually sometimes your mentorships or programs, it's not aligning anymore. You might end up changing it, you might end up revamping it, you might end up just, adjusting things to kind of suit how you've changed. And that's quite normal in the coaching industry. You'll change things based on your changing, like your identity changes. So that's quite normal. I've changed the way that I do things all the time. If something does not serve me, it's changing. It's changing. It doesn't align with me anymore. So it's going to change, right? And I love the flexibility of being able to change my own mentorships, because I don't need to do things the way that I did it when I first started. I can change them every month. I can change them every 3 months. I can add calls. I can remove calls. I can change modules. I can do this. I can do that. Like, that's why I have a business. I can do whatever I want, right? So with this being said, this particular client wanted to change things. They were done with this mentorship. It's like, it's not working. I don't like it. It's not a vibe. The clients that are in it are not a vibe. I'm going to redo it. I'm going to revamp everything, and I'm going to relaunch it in the new year. I was like, oh, why don't you relaunch it now? Like, we've got plenty of time. This client didn't want to do that. He didn't want to do it. I was like, okay, all right, wait till the new year. Let's get some new energy. If that's what you want to do, I don't believe in waiting. That's not my vibe. But this client has so much other stuff going on. It's not the biggest deal that they're going to wait till the new year. So it's okay. And then we've been talking about this for months, right? When you ask the universe for something, don't be shocked when the universe is going to change things for you, right? It's like your words that you say are so powerful. We don't realize that, like, something that we keep saying, it's like, remember, like, the joy and your manifestation, your visualization, what you want, and there's the thing that you're avoiding, and then there's the layer that sits just around the thing that you're avoiding. It's like so close to it that you keep saying it, or you say, I don't want this to happen. 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 Suddenly it's all happening. You're like, why is this happening to me? Happens with money all the time, right? So we've been talking about it. I'm like, okay, well, let's change it. Let's do it. Woo, let's do it, right? And then kept saying these things, these sentences. All of a sudden, all the clients stop coming to the calls, and they don't want to continue. And this client's panicking, frantic, like, oh my gosh, like frantic. I'm like, you asked for it. This is why you've got to be careful what you ask for. You've got to be cautious what you ask for and how you ask for it. You got to be careful what you ask for and how you ask for it. The universe works on specifics. This is how I know I can manifest money. I know I can ask for things. And I'm going to teach you how to do that today. I can literally, if I am in alignment, I can manifest money like in 24 hours. It is very hard practice. Very, 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 it takes a lot of intention. It takes a lot of alignment. It takes specifics. It takes energy. It takes visualization. But it also is an accumulation of things that you've been thinking leading up to that point. So sometimes you might ask for something and it doesn't happen because on, the last 3-4 weeks, you've been saying completely opposite. So you're too far away from the manifestation. You're too far because you're pushing yourself back all the time. You're like putting yourself down, saying you're not good enough, saying this, saying that. I can't get clients. I can't this. No one sees me. My Instagram doesn't work. My analytics don't work. My reach doesn't work. My impressions don't work. My Instagram stories, this, that, no one's DMing me. No one's filling out my application forms. It's like all these sentences has an accumulation and a compounding effect. It has a compounding effect. You don't realize this until you reach the moment when something is ripped out from underneath you. And then you wonder why. You're like, shit, why is this happening? Right? So when you've got to catch yourself in those patterns, because those patterns and especially your self-concept will get in the way. This is the hard part, especially for women, because we are the types of people that will rip ourselves to pieces. But I can say the same for men, because I've worked with a lot of men as well. And I see the same trends happen. We're normal human beings. We go through this. And this is the hardest part about being an entrepreneur, is changing your self-concept, your limiting beliefs, your belief system, your conditioning. Changing that is the hardest part. It's the hardest part. So coming back to that client, things suddenly ripping out. And I was like, you asked for this. You've got to see this. You have to see this as what the big picture is. Like, you weren't happy. The types of clients you had, you weren't happy with. Like, all these things. Now it's ending. You can't get, like, you can get upset, go through what you've got to go through, but don't tear yourself down in that moment. The worst thing you can do is rip yourself apart when something goes sour in your business. The worst thing you can do is sit there and say, I'm not good enough. I'm not this. It was my fault. I didn't lead them. Da, 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 da. Maybe there is a little bit of maybe there is a little bit of things that maybe you have got to take ownership for. Maybe you weren't in the right mindset. Maybe you weren't in the right energy. Maybe you weren't in the right vibe. There might be some things that you do need to take ownership. But if you are confident in who you are and what you're delivering, we also need to understand that there is also a two-way street to coaching. It's a two-way street, right? If you think of like the feminine and the masculine energy, yeah, it's not mothering our clients and creating codependency, because codependency doesn't actually make your clients move. And I've done that. And then I realized why none of my clients were moving. And if they didn't have me on a call, then it was like all hell broke loose and they couldn't do anything without me. It was like everything, like they would leave mentorship and nothing would happen to their business. I'd hear 2 months later, they don't even have a business, because I was creating codependency. It's like they couldn't do anything without me. And then I would get frustrated because they couldn't do anything without me or my coaches. Right? So there is a two-way street in coaching, and the door does swing both ways. It does swing both ways. But this is where you've got to get to a place within yourself where you know that what you're delivering is world-class, where you know what you're delivering is phenomenal, where you know what you're delivering is great. Everyone in here has done mentorship or coaching, had coaches. You've probably had multiple coaches. I'm sure I'm not the first one that you've come across, whether you've had personal trainers, fitness coaches, mindset coaches, I don't know, brand coaches, whatever type of coaching. You've probably experienced different layers, different types of working with people in the self-development space. So you've probably seen things that you don't like and what you do like, and you create your coaching business based off of you and what you feel like is exceptional, what is really, really good work. So you're going to create that based off your own personal experiences. So you have to trust within yourself that what you're creating is world class. Like, it's amazing. You're delivering a phenomenal service, right? So then when things happen with clients, the last thing you want to do is go and rip yourself to pieces, because that's going to throw off your vibe. That will throw out your energetics. Because if you're in a dialogue and your self-concept then starts to rip you apart and you rip yourself apart, what do you think happens then? You don't feel good enough to receive. You don't feel good enough to receive, because you're feminine. You've just shot your feminine down. You've just shot her down. You put up your walls. You put blocks upon yourself because you're making it mean something about you, but it doesn't necessarily always mean something about us. Not always. However, in saying that, there is also, the clients will mirror things back to you. They mirror things, your behavior, your pattern, your self-concept, the way that you think about yourself, the way that you think about other people. Things that you go through, your clients might go through as well. And sometimes our clients mirror back to us what we feel within ourselves, and it triggers us. So then we try and mother our clients to try and save them. Really, we just got to save ourselves a little bit more and give ourselves a little bit more compassion. And maybe our clients wouldn't be acting the way that we actually act ourselves. So there's also the looking at things and thinking, is there something that's mirroring here? Is there something mirroring here? Like, all these things are so important when it comes to making money, because all these things are blocks. It's all energy blocks. Everything. It's all energy blocks. Because when you fall into these traps of this self-destruction thoughts and emotions and feelings, it's like, is that even true? Is it true? Is it true? Are you really a bad coach? If you were a bad coach, you wouldn't even have a business. I've seen a lot of coaches in this industry. If you were a really bad coach and you weren't good at what you were doing, I can guarantee you would really, really be struggling. If you knew strategy and you had the foundations and you have everything there, and you had nothing was moving, it's like months and months and months. If you plugged into mentorship and all of the things, you don't know how to sell, you don't know how to market, you don't know how to do all those things. If you do know how to do all those things, you have the skill set, you know how to do all the things, and you have clients, and a client leaves or something happens, are you really a bad coach? Really? Probably not. You would know when you start to establish your business, you will know when something's wrong. You will 100% know when something is wrong. When the service is not good, you have a very big turnover of clients. They come, they go, they ghost you, they disappear, they don't talk to you. They're people are coming and going, they're just dropping off like flies. People stay when you've built something amazing. People stay for the long term when you've done well, when you are a good coach, when you are a good leader. And sometimes people leave when their time is done, and that's also okay. People will leave, clients leave. I've had private clients stay with me for a long time. They go do something else. I'm like, amazing, go put your money somewhere else, go invest into someone else. You feel like you need something else, go do it, go save, whatever you want to do. It's all good. Come back to me if you want to come back. If not, I still love you. I'm still friends with you. Message me if you ever need anything. I'm still here for you. And they come back. They're like boomerangs. They go, they come back, they go, they come back. And I'm so okay with that. Right? But if you were really, really not good, or if you really, really weren't delivering a good service, you will know. You will know. Trust me, people are going to tell you. People are not afraid to tell you when they are not happy. I can tell you that much. They are not afraid. Think of whenever you've had an instance in life, and you turn into Karen. You're the Karen. You're like, email me. You did this.
I want a refund. I want this. And you're like, get on the phone. You're like, let me speak to your manager. Like when you were unhappy with a service, you were going to say it. You were definitely going to say it. Right? So your clients are the same. They trust me. They're going to tell you. So when you're going through things with your clients and things change and they shift, I want you to think about a few things. Number one, I want you to think about, have you asked for this? Did you ask for it? And have a really good think about if you asked for it. Sometimes we forget what we've asked for, and then subconsciously we're actually still thinking about it. And that is also a part of like your manifestation process. Like you forget that you're thinking about it, but you're actually thinking about it. You are. And you think about it in your sleep. You have nightmares about it. And you're actually creating that with the universe. Yeah. So have a really big thing. Did I ask for this? When did I ask for it? How has my thought patterns been over the last couple of months? How's my energy been around this? Am I fixating? That's another thing that a lot of women do, because we're perfectionists. We fixate on one thing and we can't let it go. So we want to fix it. We want to make it perfect. Right? And that also can create, a lot of toxic energy too. So are you trying to fix something? Like think back, always reflect, like think back to your thoughts, your behaviors, your patterns. What have I been doing that maybe led me to this point where now people are leaving, money is going, money's not coming, it's going, it's actually going, it's not coming. Have a think. Yeah. So that's one thing that you can do when you experience something. Yeah. Another thing is then to also just pay attention in that moment. Like how are you shifting your self-concept? How are you speaking to yourself? What are you saying about yourself in that moment when something happens? How are you sitting in it? Are you sitting in it for days and days and days? The best thing that you can do when you experience, especially when it comes, like I'm talking about loss of money, loss of clients, because the loss of money and loss of clients, when clients leave or clients don't want to continue, for example, it's like a heartbreak. It's very upsetting for a lot of coaches, because we feel like we just get really upset because it's like a form of abandonment. It's an abandonment wound. When a client leaves, it's literally an abandonment wound. So if you've had people walk out on you in your life, whether it's friends, whether it's husband, partner, relationships, father, parents, mom, if people have walked out on you, when your clients walk out on you, there's another Band-Aid. Rip that one off too. So we've got to work on that too. And everything else. Everything else as well, right? And this is like the hardest one to go through, because we don't want to be forgotten. We don't want to be forgotten. We don't want to be left behind. We don't want to not be seen. Like, why are you leaving me? Why? I did everything. Why don't you love me anymore? Right? So in that moment too, we've got to see how, are we making it mean something about ourselves? I still have to go through this sometimes. Sometimes clients it'll end in a way that I didn't expect it to end. They go through their own thing. They go through their own emotions. They can't handle the conversations that we have. I'm trying to help them through things, and they can't go to the depths of their soul, and they start projecting, they start putting things on you, and it's really, really hard. Sometimes things will end not the way that you wanted them to end. And there's not much that you can do about it other than just try and love and try and be compassionate and try and understand them, even though you don't understand them. But if a client acts in a certain way and for instance, I wouldn't say losing money, but the discontinuation of that money, the last thing you want to do is attach an emotion to the discontinuation of that money. Okay. It's talking about, attaching emotions to things. This is how like trauma responses, central nervous system. This is how a trauma response happens. Okay. Because a trauma response, if let's just say a client leaves and you're like, that client is paying you, I don't know, let's say they're paying you $1,000 a month or something, whatever it is. And then they suddenly leave. They're like, I'm not continuing. You thought they were going to continue. You had an expectation that someone was going to continue. So you had an expectation. And then your expectation isn't met. Okay. So you are disappointed, right? That's the first thing that's going to happen. You're going to feel disappointed. Then you're going to feel abandoned. You're going to feel not loved. You're going to feel not good enough and everything else that stems underneath that. Okay. And then if you tie an emotion to the loss of that money, how do you think you're going to feel every other time a client leaves you or doesn't re-sign with you, doesn't continue on with you, says no, maybe next time I'll come back when I'm ready, or I just don't think that this is good for me, I think I'm done, like, or you raise your prices, they don't want to continue at the raised price, or you change the way that you do things, maybe you add less proximity, less access. You say, look, this is how things are changing. Are you going to come with me? Would you like to continue? And they say, no, I actually don't like that. I don't want that. I want to see you every week for the same price. But you're like, well, no, actually, that's not how I'm doing things. But if you associate an emotion, you tie an emotion to that and you make it mean something about yourself, every time a client goes, you will feel the same thing because you're anchoring in an emotion. You're not healing it. You're actually not integrating. You're actually not getting to that place of embodiment. You're getting further away from it because you're anchoring in negative emotions instead of loving someone, instead of loving them and like letting them go with compassion. You got to love people, let them go. You can't hold on to people. People come into your life at points and they will go. Clients will come, they will go. Clients come, they get what they need. You change their life. Maybe you change their life a little bit. Maybe it's not as big as what you expected, but you did something with them. Maybe it goes sour, whatever, but people come. In the coaching space, people do come, they go. The ones that stay with you long-term will stay with you long-term. They will grow with you. They will elevate with you. They will. I've seen clients. Bree's been pretty much with me since like day one. She's been there from the beginning of my masterminds, and I've seen Bree rise. I've seen Bree grow like so much. Some people will stay. Some people won't. You have to be okay with this, right? But if you're tying these emotions with money, that means it has a ripple effect throughout your entire business. It has a ripple effect because then what happens when people say no to you and they don't want to sign up? You're anchoring in emotions with money. You anchor in emotions with money. But money actually has no emotion. Money, it's a piece of paper. It's paper. It's made. It's literally paper. It's made. Like it's a tool. It's literally a tool. Money, you can make money. You're an entrepreneur. You're learning how to make money. That is the greatest gift that you have in this world. The greatest gift. Remember what it was like to work for other people? You had no idea how to make $1. You only knew how to work for a year to hopefully get paid an extra 20 cents an hour. It's not until you learn from another entrepreneur how to make money. Like that's some pretty cool stuff. That's some pretty amazing things. But we forget that we have that superpower. We forget that we used to live a life where we lived an hourly rate We forget that there was a point in our life where we didn't know how to make money other than go and get another job. So we kind of put that gift on the side. We put it on the side. We forget it's a superpower. It's a gift. You like money is it's black and white. Like it goes, you receive money to let go of money. You receive to let go. You receive to let go. It comes, it goes. It comes in, it goes out. In, out, in, out, in, out. That's just money flows. Money comes, it goes. Money's been moved through multiple different hands. Everyone's hands. Money has come and gone. It just comes and goes. So if you're associating and you're anchoring in like negative emotions with money, it's going to block your ability to play with money. It'll block your ability to play with money. Because then when you get some money, you want to hold on to it. You want to hold on to it because you're scared that if a client leaves you, you're going to feel the way that you feel, and then money goes. So you're like anchoring all these emotions. Yeah. And I can say the same. It actually works on the opposite end too. Then you got the happiness when you're making money. It's like polarity, right? You got the two ends, you got the two sides of the coin. And so then you've got, if you're making money and you're doing well, then you're chasing the money highs. This happens like 2K, can happen at 5K a month, 10K a month, 50, 100K, and you chase a high. It's like, it's endorphins, it's adrenaline, it's dopamine, it's oxytocin. Like you're chasing a high. It's like gambling, right? So then when you're only making X amount, that's only when you'll be happy. So then if you don't make X amount, you're sad. But then you're sad and you're trying not to be sad, but you're still thinking about being sad, but you're thinking that I'll be happy only when I make X amount of money. Kind of doesn't, up, down, emotional roller coaster, up, down. So if you're associating your happiness with money, it's like, I'm only happy if I make X amount this month. I'm only happy. I will only be happy. When I get there, then I'll celebrate. When I get there, then I'll be happy. I just got a client for $2,000. Oh my God, amazing. That's so cool. That's awesome. You just got a client. She believes in you. Yeah, but it's just one. Yeah, but you just got a client for $2,000. Yeah, but it's just one. It's only 2,000. But then you're only anchoring your happiness when you make $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. It's like, I will only be happy when I make X amount. What if you're just happy today? Right? So then that's where you're tying like these emotions with money. This is when you feel like you're wobbling in your business. You just feel like you're on a boat and it's just rocking and you're rocking. It's like every day you're rocking, you're happy, you're sad, you're up, you're down. Why aren't I happy? Why aren't I happy? Why? Have a look at the patterns. How are you associating your happiness with your life? Because I can tell you this. I'll tell you this. The first time I made my biggest amount of money, it was my first like $85,000 a month. And I had, oh my gosh, like I was just so exhausted at that point. And I had so many clients. I was just pushing myself to the end. Like it was big. And I had severe anxiety every day. From the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep, I couldn't sleep, could not sleep for the life of me. And the money actually triggered post-traumatic stress disorder. It actually triggered my trauma. You think like money, we think money is our happiness. That's what we think. We think, and money, don't get me wrong, it creates a form of happiness. It definitely does. It creates more choices in life. It does create more choices in life. But it also triggers emotions. It triggers stored energy within you, right? It's triggers. So reaching that point of having that biggest month, couldn't manage my emotions. It's like this little, I'm like, I don't know why I'm sad. I'm just sad. I don't know why I'm sad. I'm angry. I couldn't control my emotions. I was just bursting out. Like Monique's like, Jess, you need to do something. I was like, I don't even know why I feel this way because I have so much money in the bank. I just got myself out of $50,000 of bad debt. And here I am crying. I'm sad. So, but then I was only happy. The next thing that happened from that, I was only happy if I was making that amount of money. So then it's like there was all this craziness with money, and I was like, emotions, like, all right, well, now I was excited about all the clients and all of the things. I also felt very empty. It's like two sides. I was empty and I felt joy and excitement. But then it was like chasing the money highs of the ping, the sales, making the sales, doing the sales, getting clients, all of the things. Like I was like, it was like, it's like an adrenaline rush. It's like another client, another client, another client. Same when you're selling programs and you see, ping, 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 ping. And you see like people are signing up, people are signing up, people are signing up. It's like going to the pokies. You're going to the pokies. People get addicted to that. They sit there, they waste all of their money sitting there playing the pokies. It's the same in your business. You associate a feeling. You're like, I only happiness, ping, happiness, ping. Oh, wow, another sale, another sale, another sale, another sale, another sale. And then when you have a launch where it just doesn't work because your energy isn't in alignment, there's no pings. I'm not happy. Right? But this is just how the body responds, because our body is actually meant to respond to sounds, to things like sight, seeing things, visualizing things. This is how we like our subconscious mind like anchors in like emotions, and our body anchors in emotions based on what we're seeing, based on what we're hearing. So it's just very important, really important when it comes to handling money, playing with money, transacting money, moving money, receiving, letting go. We have to be neutral. Get excited. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like you get a client, you're like, cool, I got a client. You still have to genuinely be like, you got to have joy in your business. But there's getting excited like a puppy dog, and there's excitement to be a part of someone's life. There's excitement, just, wow, this woman believes in me. This woman is investing in me. Like, this, she's so cool. Like, I can't believe I just had this amazing conversation with this woman. Now she's working with me. Now she's in my program. We get to spend 16 weeks together. We get to spend 6 months together. I'm genuinely excited. I feel like I could really be a part of her life. We really get to walk side by side together. She picked me as a coach. Like, that's awesome. I love what I do. I love everything. Like, there's that form of excitement. But then there's excitement. It's like, oh, I just received $2,000. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, $2,000. Like, then that's like the negative. If that's not neutral with money, that's associating a feeling and an excitement with money and disregarding the client. Do you know what I mean? You see like the difference when you associate emotions, positive energy with the people that you're experiencing your life with, your business with. But then on the flip side, when they leave, that's when you work on your abandonment wounds. That's when you work on rejection, right? So there's like two sides to it. You got to love them when they come in. You will love them when they leave. Two sides. That way you're not associating feelings of happiness and sadness with the money. Okay. Now, when it comes to tightening up boundaries with money, tightening up and cleaning up your business with money, my biggest piece of advice to all of you, get very clear on your contracts, very, very, very clear on your terms and conditions. Very clear. When you have leaks in your contracts, you have leaks in your business. Okay. Your word is your word. Your word is your word. Your agreements are your agreements, right? So, and I've seen this happen. I've seen some pretty wild things happen. I actually consider myself very, very lucky as a business mentor that does not have, like, every now and again, I will go through something with someone that is just really, like, just very out of integrity. But I truly believe the reason why my business runs so amazingly and why I don't have lots of issues when it comes to like failed payments, people not paying, people doing wrong by me. I feel the reason why, and I know why, is because I am in integrity with money, because there's a mirror, right? So if you are out of integrity with money, don't be surprised when you have a lot of clients that are out of integrity with money and you have nothing but money problems. Yeah. So you have to lead first, because money is energy. And if everything is a mirror and everything mirrors back to us, then how are we leading ourselves? That's not to say that you won't get clients that are going to test you and your boundaries. That happens. That's a test to see how can you strengthen. How can you strengthen things? Did you break your word? Did you break your boundary? Did you break your contract? There's been times where I've done things for people. I broke my boundary. That was me. I stepped into powerless. Like, I become powerless when I give my power to someone else. I'm like, yeah, let me do that for you. Right. And I step outside of my toolkit. Like I call it, like I'm a very big person on, like, I have a very big heart. Sometimes my heart is too big and I've got to have a conversation with Monique. And she's like, Jess, I think you're overstepping. You're about to overstep. Are you sure you want to do that? You know, I think it's very good if you get clear on your boundaries, write them out. I literally have criterias. I literally have like I call it, like, it's like my toolkit, because for me, I am a giver. I have a very big heart. And from someone that comes from not much, I also want to help people that don't have much. But it can also be a very bad thing, because you end up getting hurt at the end of it, because you think that they're in integrity, or you think someone might appreciate what you're going to do for them. But you're kind of expecting that based on your own experiences. So it doesn't always work out. Okay. So one thing that I did that really helped me in my business, and just how I carry myself in my sales and my marketing and all the things, I actually wrote out, it's like my toolkit of things, like, what if someone is in financial difficulties or they're not in a good place, what would I do? If someone can't afford a certain payment plan option, what could I offer that isn't kind of like affecting me and the whole company? Because I have staff, people to pay. So if I'm like really overstepping my boundaries, I'm kind of overstepping my staff too. And that's not going to work out, because they've got to feed their family. They've got to eat. If I don't make expenses because I'm overgiving, that's kind of on me. Right. But even when you're in that you don't have a team or you don't have people, you've got to think about these things, like, what would feel good for me where I could help someone, but I'm not also overextending myself? What would feel good? Don't ask yourself what you think. You ask yourself what you think, you're going to get a spiral of thoughts. You're going to overthink, you're going to overanalyze, and you're not going to get to the bottom of it. Ask yourself, how would I feel? Okay. How would I feel if I was to do a 5-month payment plan, a 6-month payment plan outside of term? How would that feel for me? Does that feel good? Does it feel good? That's when you ask your mind, does that feel good? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Awesome. Cool. All right. Move on. So if you come up with certain things like criterias, your boundaries, things that you don't step outside of with your agreements, that's going to help you with your money. That's going to help you with how you lead yourself in your business. And that'll also help you attract the right people based on your boundaries, your standards, and your energy that you know that you have, and you're kind of protecting your energy to some degree. So you'll only start to magnetize people that are in alignment with you. Yeah. And then you actually start to see the people that are not. When you are unclear of your boundaries, when you are unclear of your standards, when you are unclear of your money, your payment plans, your offers, and you're unclear, guess what? The universe is just going to throw you everything and anything. You're unclear, the universe is unclear. And that isn't your magnetism. Your magnetism is your energy, right? So it's good to have a think of like, what is my criteria? What is my boundaries? For private coaching now, as wild as it is to say, I honestly never thought that I would get to a point where I would actually have to say, you have to pay in full before you start. And I think that that's wild, because I used to have so many private clients and I had so many people in integrity, but now I have to protect my energy even more because I have so many clients across so many different containers. My product suite is so much bigger than what it used to be. So even just showing up for these programs requires a lot of energy from me. Teaching requires a lot of energy. I sit, I plan the lessons, I plan what I'm going to say. I got to get into the flow of everything. So I have to protect my energy at every level as well, because I'm holding so much space for so many people, even, my team as well, and holding so much space. And I never thought that I would get to a point where I'd have to say, you have to pay in full before you can start private mentoring. And I have had to do that because there have been people that have really, really, really disturbed me and done some really things that I have never done and disrespected me. And you can't prevent that. You can't prevent it. But that was a boundary that I had to put in place. It was just something. I was like, I'm not, you know what? I have so many clients that I love and adore, and everyone does right by me. This is one thing that I'm going to have to do. And that's it. Yeah. So like getting clear on those boundaries, and then you'll start to attract people that have no issue paying in full before they start, because they respect it. They're like, I want that. I want to have that kind of vibe in my life. Yeah. I've seen this happen before when it comes to money. I had a client that like refused to learn about money management, scared to ask for money, scared to set their clients up with proper systems and processes. And then what happened was her clients owed her $30,000 across all of them. Yeah, I know. Imagine chasing all your clients for a whole total of $30,000. Imagine, you're not even a debt collector. The clients never said anything. That's the wild part. But why would the client say anything when she doesn't say anything? Mirror. It's the mirror. Your clients will reflect back to you what you are declining within yourself. You are pushing your power away and you're becoming powerless in your business. You're giving your power, your energy to everyone else, right? So we got to think of these things. We have to think of these things. All right. How am I in integrity? How am I paying my bills? How am I doing things? If one thing that you could look at, like when I was in really big debt, I chose to pay all my money back. I went part bankrupt. So I was still blacklisted. I did 5 years instead of 7 years. So like normally, if you go bankrupt, it's 7 years. Okay. Now, the crazy part about this is that I actually talked myself into bankruptcy because I was so scared because my parents were bankrupt. I was scared that I was going to go bankrupt, and go figure. years later, I become bankrupt, thinking about not being bankrupt. I'm thinking about not going into debt, thinking about it every day. I actually ended up in debt. Thinking about I didn't want more fines. I ended up having $10,000 of fines. I was getting tickets every day in the mail. I was like, I don't want another ticket. I don't want another ticket. I don't want another ticket. Ticket every day in the mail. Then I started associating pain with mail, and I didn't want to open up the mail. And then I couldn't open up my bank account. And then I couldn't look at anything. Everything was just pain and triggers with money. And I manifested everything. But when I chose to go bankrupt, I chose to pay the money back. So I only did 5 years instead of 7. Cut 2 years off. I chose to pay everything back, and I did pay everything back. Every dollar. It was the hardest thing to do. I still had to pay it all back, but everything was put together. Everything was put together. I had like a thing happen, like an agreement and all of the things, and I paid everything back. So all of my business is funded based off cash. I've had to make that money to pay everything, all my mentors, everything. I only got out of this last month. It's done. I did it. I did 5 years. I did my little jail time. I did my jail time. I built a 7-figure business in between that. I had to learn about money. I had to learn about money. Now, it's a choice to learn about money. You can't blame your parents. I blamed my parents for a long time. It's my parents' fault. They didn't know. They didn't know how to do this. They didn't know how to do that. They didn't know this. Who taught them? Their grandparents. And who taught them? Their great-great-grandparents. And it wasn't too long ago. We had the Great Depression was actually not that long ago. Our great-great-grandparents were in that. We can't we can't blame our parents for it. We can't hand off that responsibility as much as you want to, as much as it's easier to blame your parents. And I've done that. It's my parents' fault. It's their fault that I know nothing about money. It's their fault that they couldn't tell me the value of $1. It's their fault that they couldn't teach me about credit cards. It's their fault that they didn't tell me that I shouldn't get a loan. It's their fault that they didn't teach me how to manage money. It's their fault that they didn't do this, they didn't do that. You spend your whole life hating your parents, and you probably live a very disappointing life. It's not their fault. Even if you have wealthy parents and, they're not, maybe there's things that you're not getting from them, you still have to take a certain level of responsibility. So one of my things that I took upon myself was to learn money. You can only run from it for so long. Trust me. You can run from it, and then it's going to come right up there and bite you on the bum, right? And I see this happen with my clients. They're in a really bad place of money mindset, and they're in a really bad place, and we've got to do a lot of work around their thoughts around money, because our paradigm and the hard drive that's in your mind, it's called a paradigm, okay? It's conditioned beliefs. And genetically, we hold conditioned beliefs in our paradigm because you were birthed from your mother. Your mother is holding trauma. That energy gets passed on to the child. This is generational trauma, okay? Generational trauma is passed through DNA. You hold what your mother has been holding, what your father has been holding, your grandparents. When I did timeline therapy, I got taken back into my mum's life, right? So you are holding genetically things, and it's up to us to break those conditioning beliefs. It's up to us you can change the way that you think about money. You can change your way that you see money, that you perceive money. I've done so much of this work. Like Bree would be one of the biggest examples, like in this Zoom room, literally Bree would be probably one of my biggest examples of like so much mindset work on changing her beliefs around money. Now, yesterday she writes that she's going to be a millionaire. I'm mind blown, literally. You can change the way that you think about money. You can change it. You can literally tell your mind, you can change the story. But then there's the practicality work too. It's taking ownership. I'm going to learn about money. I'm going to understand money. Money's not against me. Money's not against me. Money doesn't hate me. Money loves me. Money loves my life. Money loves my home. Money loves my kids. Money loves my hair when I get it done. Money loves my coffee when I get to buy my coffee every morning. Money loves me. Money does not hate me. I used to say to myself every day, money hates me, money hates me, money hates me. No wonder why I had no goddamn money. I'm saying money hates me every day. No wonder why money's not coming. I may as well just say, just don't even pay me this month. Please don't pay me. Right? So it's also, you know, being aware of it, but it's also being in integrity of money. Okay. Pay, like, you want to, if you want to attract more, be good with your money, be on time with your money. Okay. Payment plans are an amazing thing. Payment plans, I love payment plans because it allows people to be able to do things on payment plans, right? Everyone loves a good payment plan. That's why Afterpay is so good, right? So if you have payment plans, stick to them. Stick to them. Follow your word. Okay. Follow your word. Don't be the person that's bouncing on payments all the time. I've seen this happen too. Bouncing with on my payments, like their payments to me, and then all of their clients. They can't even collect their own money from their clients. They've got 40 clients and everyone's failing payments. It's like you put that juju out there and you're like putting it out there, right? So if you got to lead first in your life, because remember, the universe is going to keep telling you a lesson. Are you listening? The universe is going to say, hello, Sarah, are you listening? Hi, Mel, are you listening to what I'm saying to you? Brie, are you listening? Angela, are you listening? I know you want the success. I know you want to be rich. I know you want to have this. I know you want to be a millionaire. But are you listening to what I'm telling you to clean up in your life? Or do you think you're going to become a millionaire? Failing payments, not being on time with payments, being out of integrity with money, saying money hates me, saying all these like negative things about money, right? It doesn't work. That doesn't work. It goes against everything that you want. Everything. This is why self-development, it's an ongoing evolution of who you are. You got to keep doing the work. This is how you create abundance. Yeah. So you've got to look at your behaviors. Little things that help me build my relationship with my money. Look at your bank account. Comment in the chat box down below. How do you honestly feel when you open your bank account? What shows up for you in your mind and in your body? Frustration. I've got safety. It's good, Sarah. Mel, disappointed, grief. I feel tense. If I'm being, Sarah, if I'm being honest. Okay. Desire for more is there. Yeah. Sophie, I feel a sense of calm. Calm because I always have enough to keep me covered. Okay. Amazing. So one of the good things that you can get, that you can like reprogram your mind, is a lot of people have a negative feeling associated with opening their bank account. Yeah. So then there's a negative feeling associated, a low vibrational feeling associated with money. Okay. This is changing your paradigm. You change your conditioning. Your subconscious is what holds memories. So you've got to change that. You've got to change it. And then you've got to start to associate a peace and a better feeling when changing like the feeling that's associated with that behavior that you're doing. Yeah. So the way that you break it is by facing it. Yeah. there was a point, I actually got to a point where I would not open my bank account, and I actually made Monique do everything for me. I made her pay all of my bills. I even made her like, make sure you've got money on my card, enough for coffee, because I refused to open that bank account because I was so triggered by my own bank account. So then when I started doing all this money stuff, like I had to start doing that. Now, Monique has always helped me in accounting. Now I have like an accounting team and everything, but I'm quite comfortable with my bank account. Right. So, but I had to look at it every day. Every day I had to look at it, get comfortable with it, get happy with it. So you got to change how you perceive and your emotions when you open your bank account, because that's normally where a lot of people, like, they panic. Yeah. Same with like tapping your card. Notice little behaviors when you tap your card. Who gets a little bit like when you tap your card and you're scared you're going to see decline? Is anyone like kind of got that? Yeah. So that's a big one. So I want you to have a think, was there a point in your childhood, or was there a point in time where maybe you were in a bad place, maybe, because everyone's been there, and you've declined and you've been embarrassed. Shame that you had no money on your card. Shame that maybe something wasn't going right in your life and you're embarrassed that you didn't have money to pay for something. Okay. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So these little things as well, now it's like healing those moments in your life. You've got to heal those moments in your life. I have a very clear, distinct moment when that happened to me, and my mum when I was a child. And I have a very, very, I can see it. I can see it now in my mind. I can see it clearly, the moment that it happened. And I see the same response, central nervous system response, happen to my mum when it happens to her now, to this day. And now we're like trying to do the work around it, so that she doesn't have these panic attacks when she taps the card, or when there is a decline. You know, sometimes you got to shuffle money around, right? No one likes to keep money in their bank account. Yeah. And even though you know that there's money in your other savings account, you still panic, even though it says decline, because you forgot to move money over. It didn't mean that you had no money. You might have just forgot to move money over. You've tapped the card, it's declined. And this could be now for you. It declines, and now you're panicking, and you have a moment, you're like, I've got no money, right? But that's associated with a past event. And it's associated with a past event. So then you've got to reprogram yourself and retrain yourself to think, it's okay if that happens, if it does decline. All right, what is the truth? Does it mean I have no money? No, I was in a rush. I had the kids, I'm rushing them. I got them in the car, I'm running around. I'm thinking about a million different things that I got to do today. I remember I was in the bathroom and I said, don't forget to move the money over. Don't forget, you're going to the bank later, you're going to the shops. Don't forget to move the money from the savings to the bank account, because you're in a rush, and then you're going to be annoyed that you're standing in line and people are going to rush you, and you're like, oh, I've got to move my money over. So you forget, you don't do it. You get to the checkout, you hit the card, and it declines, and then you're embarrassed. That's your subconscious mind in living life at that moment. That's your subconscious mind living life. So you have to change that. And in that moment, instead of panicking, you say, oh, I apologize. You just respond neutral. You're like, I apologize. I completely forgot to move the money over. Just give me a minute. I'm just going to shuffle the funds over. Is that okay with you? Yes. Good. That's how you reprogram yourself. It's and that's emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence helps with breaking conditioning. So you change the way that you react in that moment. You've got to catch yourself in the moment. In the moment, catch yourself. Do I need to think this way? Do I need to feel like that? Why do I feel this way? Where is this coming from? Is it the truth? Do I need to associate these feelings with everything? Is this the truth? Am I panicking over nothing? Well, it's not nothing, but it's like, what am I panicking over? Is it the truth that I have no money? I actually just need to shuffle funds over. Yeah. because all of this stuff it'll all show up in your business. It'll all show up in your business. Then you'll start panicking when clients are due for their payments. Are they going to pay me? Are they not going to pay me? Like, all these little patterns show up everywhere, all around you, in and out and through your business. Yeah. So when you do experience moments like that, you've got to catch yourself in it. Reprogram, retrain yourself. You got to retrain yourself. That'll help, because then you become more open to receiving more money, because you're doing the inner work, you're doing the reprogramming work, you're shifting those beliefs. Yeah. And the final thing that I want to like lead for you as well is the manifestation of money. Okay. They're like mantras. They're mantras, and these mantras honestly work for me every single time. And it's the most basic things. You guys probably think that I'm like sitting out on my porch praying every day, doing like daily prayers just to make money. It's not how it works. Okay. But there are mantras that you can do. Okay. Now, whenever I feel maybe a little bit like, and you drop, because your mind is just going to do things. Your ego and your mind is there to just ruin. They're just there to come into the party and try and party pooper you. So there's going to be moments, especially when you're tired. When I'm tired, oh my gosh, logic goes out the window. And then I'm emotional when I'm tired. And when you're emotional, there is no logic. There's only emotions. Yeah. So one of the things I like to do, that if I do feel off and there is some negative thoughts coming through, and I hand it over to the universe. Hand it over. Right? Money is coming. Money is coming. Money is always flowing. Money is coming. Money is always flowing. Money is coming to me. I'm so provided for. I'm so provided for. Money is coming. Money is flowing. Money is for me. Money is for me. Money, I am worthy of money. Money is coming. It's always coming. It's always flowing. It's always circulating. It's always coming. It's always coming. You can repeat that to yourself every day. Money is coming. Money is coming. Money is for me. Money is me. Money is for me. Then you'll always be worthy. It's never against you. But you have to believe in the universe, that the universe is going to provide you what you're asking for. You have to believe. And how the universe also works is that you can actually manifest with the universe and ask for money. It's particular. Like, there have been times where I've said, I'm going to make $10,000 today because if I make the $10,000 today, I'm going to be able to help someone. I'm going to be able to help them with their business. I'm going to be able to do this, this, and this. Plus, I also have a tax bill to pay. That's X amount of money. So I would like to pay that bill on time, because if I pay my tax bill, then that's going back into the government. And then that's also providing, disability allowances and all of the things. So how you manifest with the universe is, it's not just for your own selfish needs. The universe doesn't just work on what you want. That's not how it works. How does the world work? It can't just be for you. Can't be. How the universe works is, it has to be good for the greater good of the world. Everything has to be good for the greater good of the world. That's why bad people end up in jail. It's not good for the world. It's not good at all for the world. They shouldn't be out in the world. They're not doing anything good. Right? So even with money, why do you want money? How is that going to change the world? It's got to be good for the greater good of people. If it's for the greater good of people, you can ask for it, you can receive it, and the universe will give you what you want based on the goodness of the world. That's how energy works. Enlightenment, like the frequency of energy, the frequency of money, the frequency of manifestation. It has to be for the good of the world. It has to be pure energy. How is it going to help? What is it going to do for people? What's it going to do for your kids? What's it going to do for your mom? What's it going to do for the generations? What's it going to do? Right? That's how you can manifest. And every time when I actually intentionally do this, It works. Literally works. Sometimes it blows my mind. I'm just like, wow, I can't believe that actually happened. No, I can't believe it. I was like, I literally thought that. I literally thought that. I literally said that, and it happened. Just like that. And it can happen. You just got to tap into doing it all the time. It's not like a circumstantial thing when you're stressed. It's an all the time thing. All the time. People become multimillionaires, billionaires, because they believe money is just flowing. Money is flowing. Money is a tool. Money is a thing. Money is good. Money is great. Money will help me, help people in the world. And that's how money circulates. They understand the energetics of money. That is why, also why there's poverty. Look at poverty. What do you think gets said in that home over and over and over again? There is no money. There's none of this. There's none of that. The sentences that are said in the home over and over and over. And then you've got generations of poverty, countries of poverty. Go stick a millionaire in the middle of there. Go stick 50 millionaires in a country of poverty, and you probably watch their frequency would change so much. Probably would if we tried it. If we put all the millionaires in a country of poverty, probably change a lot of things. But it doesn't happen because it'll never happen. Yeah. So you can shift this. The good news is that you can actually shift this. You actually have the ability and the power to actually shift this. It's not just a magic trick for me. It's not a magic trick for me. It's literally the power that resides within you. You just have to believe it enough. Believe it's true. Say it. Say it out loud. Say it all the time. Money is coming. Money is for me. Money, 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 money. My mom blows my mind all the time. She says the most wild things. She's like, Jesus, let there be a car spot. All the time. Every time. The Jesus, please God, let there be a car spot. I turn the corner and there's a car spot right there at the front. Every time. She believes there's a car spot. She literally believes it every time. Every time. I'm like, Mom, please. She's like, what? She's sitting there in the corner. She said that every time. And it honestly happens every time. Every time. You put it out there, it comes back tenfold. Put it out there. The positive vibes, you've got to put it out there. You ask and you shall receive over and over and over and over again. Okay. This is the practical stuff of it. This is the practical stuff. So I think you've got heaps that you can go and work on, heaps that you can go and reflect on, so much that you can have a look at in your life right now. Where do you need to tidy up things? Where do you have debt that you need to pay? Where do you have things that you've got to tidy up, right? Even like, don't even look at debt as bad debt. If you're always looking at debt as bad debt, like people get upset because they've got, home loans and car loans and all these things. And people used to say to me, oh, Jess, you're so lucky you don't have home loan or a car loan. Yeah, that's because I couldn't get one. I couldn't get one. That's why I don't have them, right? And I'm not ready to buy a home just yet, but when I do get a home and I do go into debt, and when I do that for investments, I'm not going to look at it as bad debt. I'm looking at it as generational wealth. So change the story. Even if you've got a car loan, a home loan, stop looking at it as debt. If you associate it with debt, bad debt, all you're ever going to see is bad debt. You're just going to see debt. It's just debt. There is good debt. There's asset debt. There's wealth debt. Generational debt. That's good debt. Yeah, you do the work now so your kids can enjoy that, so your grandkids can enjoy it. So change the story with that. Like, change the story. Go and have a look at your life today. I want you to go and all have a look at your life. Have a look at your money. Have a look at the things that you're avoiding. Have a conversation with yourself. What am I avoiding? Oh my gosh, wow. I love that. Go and have a look at what you're avoiding. What are you not facing? What do you got to clean up? What are the stories you're saying? Where can you catch yourself? What do you need to shift in your life so you can become an energetic match for more money and you can step into the energetics of wealth? Remember, wealth is not associated with a number. It's not associated with a number. Wealth is how you feel with your manifestation process. Like, it's a feeling. You can be making $5,000 a month and be the wealthiest woman in the world. It's not associated with a number. It's to do with your belief system. You can, like, your belief system, that's what it is. So get clear on this. Get clear on it. Go and do some reflection. Go and look at everything. Okay. Now, tomorrow is our Q&A. So there's a thread in the Facebook group. So any questions that you have, put them on the thread. Now, we're not going to meet on Zoom. It's going to be a live, and I'm going to answer those questions one by one. So make sure you pop them on the thread, and then I'll be going live tomorrow. You can still jump on the live, like feel free to jump on the live. And I will be answering any questions that you have about all of that. All right. Amazing, ladies. It's been so good to have you here. Anyone that's watching back, enjoy. And I will see you all tomorrow on the live. Bye, ladies.